بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أبنائي وبناتي طلاب الصف الأول الثانوي، بنكمل مع بعض حل أسئلة كتاب المعاصر page 245 السؤال 37. The opposite figure shows the path of a ball that is projected vertically upward to pass in front of three identical windows 3, Windows 2, Windows 1, which have equal lengths قد بعض and are at equal distance from each other then أول سؤال بيقول لي the arrangement of the windows according to the magnitude of acceleration of the ball while passing by each one of them is. The arrangement of windows according to the magnitude of acceleration. The acceleration here is due to the gravity G. So the acceleration is constant 9.8 meter per second square, right? So the answer will be letter C, 1 equal 2 equal 3. The acceleration at Windows 1 is the same as the acceleration as Windows 2 as Windows 3. Let's move to the next question. The arrangement of the windows according to the average velocity of the ball while passing by each one of them is. As you know, when the ball goes up, its velocity decreases. So, velocity in Windows 3 is larger than velocity in Windows 2 is larger than velocity in Windows 1. As the ball going up, the velocity decreases. So, and you know how to calculate the average velocity, right? You know how to calculate the average velocity. V initial is the same for all plus V final here over 2. And for the second windows, V initial plus V final at Windows 2 over 2. So as you're going up, the average velocity decreases because the final velocity decreases when you are going up. So the average velocity of the ball while passing by each one of them is 3 is 1. 3 is larger than 2, larger than 1. 3, hold on, this window, okay? The average velocity for the Windows 3 larger than the average velocity for Windows 2, larger than the average velocity for Windows 1, because while you are going up, the velocity decreases. Okay. Let's move to number 3. The arrangement of the window according to the time taken by the ball while passing by each one of them is. So, the velocity of the ball decreases as is going up. So the time taken by the ball while passing by a window increases as it is going up. So the arrangement of the windows is 1 larger than 2, larger than 3. Let's go to the last one here. The arrangement of the windows according to the change in velocity of the ball dv while passing by each one of them. The change in velocity, sure, the change in velocity between the initial point and the first window, and between the initial point and second window, and between the initial point and third window. So sure, 1 is larger than 2 is larger than 3, right? So the answer will be letter B. Okay, guys, let's go directly to number 38. Number 38. Body A was projected vertically upward by initial velocity, the initial velocity. Then 1 second later, after 1 second, body B was projected vertically upward from the same point of projection. Then the initial velocity that makes body B collide with body A at the moment when body A reach the maximum height equal. يعني أنا عندي جسم قذفته لأعلى، تمام؟ بإنيشيال سبيد 20 متر بير سكند، وصل للماكسيمم هايت. بعد ثانية قذفت جسم هيصطدم، يحصل كولايد with the first object, with the first ball, with the first body, but after 1 second. So it must have larger speed than 20 meters per second to collide with it. How much is this speed? Let's solve it together. Okay? Type. What you have? You have VA initial equals 20 meters per second. So we can get the distance or the height because we don't know the height. So VA final square equal VA initial square plus 2GD 0 equal V initial 20 square plus 2 times negative 10. The object is going up, D. So D equal 400 20 square over 20. So the distance 20 meters. Right? Let's speak about the time taken by this object body A to reach the maximum height. So you know VA final equal VA initial plus GT, right? So 0 equal 20 minus 10 times T. So T equal 20 over 10 equal 2 seconds, right? So the whole time for object A to reach the maximum time is 2 seconds. He said after 1 second he launch or project the second object. So T for object B equals 2 minus 1 equals 1 second. Got it? So we have the distance and we have the time for object B to reach object A. We need only the initial velocity. So you have D for object B equal VB initial T plus half GT square. DB is the same, 20 meters. VB initial, that what we need. T is 1 second plus half because the total time for the first object A is 2 seconds. And after 1 second, he project the second object B times negative 10 times T square 1 square, right? So 20 equal VB initial minus 5. So VB initial equal, take the 5 in the opposite direction, 25 meters per second. So you must launch the second or project the second object by 25 meters per second, a speed or velocity larger than the speed of object A. So both will collide, got it? On the maximum height. I hope you got it. For essay questions, number 1, if the velocity of a body equals 0 at an instant, في لحظة, it is necessary that the acceleration at the same instant equals 0. Give an example. طبعا for sure no. Why? مثال, the acceleration due to the gravity. The object at maximum height. At maximum height, what happened? The velocity equals 0, but the object moves under the acceleration due to the gravity. And the evidence for that, the object return direction when it reaches the maximum height and start to fall by increasing acceleration or by free fall acceleration. Got it? For number 2, from the opposite figure, for the Earth, explain why the magnitude of the acceleration due to the gravity varies from one location to the another. As you know, the Earth is not completely sphere, but it is ellipsoid. It's not sphere. And as you see, there is a difference on equator here. The diameter is bigger than the diameter for the pole. The diameter here is larger than the diameter for the polar diameter. So the acceleration depends on the distance from the center of the sphere. So let's go to next page. 246. Explain the following sentence. When an object falls freely from rest, its velocity increases. Sure, the object moves under the effect of the force of gravity. So it moves with uniform acceleration, 9.8 meters per second square. That means the velocity increases each second by 9.8 meters per second until it reaches the maximum velocity when it hits the ground. Let's go to number 2. The velocity of a body that is projected vertically upward decreases till it reaches 0. Yes, when you project an object upward, the body moves against the force of gravity with negative acceleration, negative 9.8 meters per second square. So the velocity decreases till it reaches 0 at the maximum height. Let's go to number 3. At maximum height, the acceleration of the projected object doesn't equal 0. You know what means 0 acceleration? 0 acceleration means constant velocity, and that is not happen. Just while the object going up, its velocity decreases gradually till it reaches 0. After that, the object changes direction and start to accelerate toward the earth, toward the ground. So the velocity start to increase until reach maximum velocity when it hit the ground. For number 4, in the opposite figure here is a tube which is vacuumed. We get air out of it from the air. If the tube is inverted, which of the following will be larger? The rate of change of the coin's velocity or the rate of change of the feather's velocity? There is an experiment about that. You can watch it on YouTube, and you figure out that both reach the ground together because there is no air resistance and we don't care about the mass. Both are equal. They are falling with the same acceleration, which is free fall acceleration. Let's go to number 5. The opposite graph represents the relation between the velocity v and the time t for an object that moves vertically under the effect of gravity. About A, describe the kinematic state of the object. The object is projected upward and return upward, so this is V initial. And this is when the object reach maximum height, so it changes direction and falls back to the point of projection. About letter B, what do these points A and C represent? As we said, A represents the initial velocity of projection. Okay guys, A, the initial velocity for projection. And letter C, the final velocity at the same place of projection. What is the relation between A and C? They are equal but opposite in direction. This is velocity upward, this is velocity downward. يعني imagine the velocity here is 5 meters per second, here also 5 meters per second or -5 in opposite direction. So VA equal negative VB. Those two vectors quantities, negative means opposite direction. About letter C, what does the point B represent? Point B reaching the maximum height, so the object change the direction. Let's go to number 6. The opposite graph represents the relation between the velocity v and the time t of two objects that were projected vertically upward. One on the earth while the other on the moon, given that the acceleration due to the gravity on the moon 1/6 the acceleration on the earth, which is equal 10 meters per second square. Which line A or B represents the projection of object on earth? Here we have x, here we have 5. So let's calculate the acceleration for object A. So final velocity here, final velocity equal 0. Initial velocity equal 50 over 5 minus 0, so negative 10 meters per second square because the object is going upward. So A for earth, not for moon. Letter B, why do the two lines A and B have different slopes? A and B have different slopes because different acceleration. Because the gravity on Earth or Earth's surface is different than the gravity on the moon's surface, right? Because the slope of each one between the velocity and time is the acceleration, and Earth and moon have two different acceleration. Estimate, letter C, estimate the time value at the point X. So let's solve it together. A for B. A for B. Let's calculate the acceleration. 0 minus 50 over x minus 0. He said it is 1/6 the acceleration due to the gravity, so equal 10/6 or negative 10/6. So negative 50 over x equal negative 10/6. Negative goes with negative, so x equals 50 times 6 over 50 times 6 over 10 equals 30, and the unit for time is second. So we got it. Estimate the value of time at point X. Letter D. What would happen to the slopes of the two lines when the mass of the object is doubled? In both cases, as you know, if there is no air resistance, nothing happens. Slopes will be the same because free fall doesn't depend on the mass. Okay, I hope you get benefit from this video. رجاء سبسكرايب، اعمل متابعة، عرف زمايلك القناة عشان نقدر ننزل لك فيديوهات جديدة، ولا تنسانا من صالح دعاك. كان معاك مستر إبراهيم سلطان فيزيكس اند كيمستري تيتشر. ربي يوفقكم انتم واولادي.